concept of Barzakh has fascinated believers and seekers of knowledge for centuries. It is described as the realm between this world and the next, the place every soul enters after death and before the day of judgment. When we talk about the idea of the 40 days after death, we step into a topic surrounded by spiritual teachings, cultural beliefs, and religious interpretations that vary across regions. In this video, we explore these perspectives, trying to understand why this time period holds such deep significance for so many people. Barzakh is often explained as a barrier and unseen dimension that separates the living from the dead. According to traditional teachings, when a person dies, their soul begins a journey that is very different from anything we experience in this life. It is a journey filled with questioning, reflection, and the consequences of one's deeds. Many scholars describe Barzakh as a waiting period, a place where the soul becomes aware of its true condition, detached from the physical world but not yet in its final destination. This makes Barzakh a deeply emotional and mysterious stage, as it highlights the transition from life into eternity. The idea of 40 days after death appears in various cultures and traditions. In many communities, people believe that the soul remains connected to the earthly realm during this period. Some describe it as a time when the soul revisits loved ones, observes its funeral, or reflects on the life it lived. Others emphasize that the 40 days symbolize a spiritual cycle, a period of purification, preparation before the soul fully settles into the realm of Barzakh. While interpretations differ, the common theme is that these 40 days are a sensitive and meaningful time, both for the soul and for those mourning the loss. Religious scholars explain that the questioning in the grave is a central part of the Barzakh experience. The soul encounters the angels who ask about its faith, its beliefs, and the life it led. The answers are not given by memory, but by the truth of one's actions. This makes the moment extremely powerful, reminding us that Barzakh is not just a waiting place. It is a reflection of who we really were. For those who lived with sincerity and goodness, this stage is described as peaceful and comforting. For others, it becomes a moment of realization and accountability. The emotional connection people feel during the 40-day period after a loved one's death often leads to acts of charity, prayer, and remembrance. Families gather to recite holy verses, share meals, and offer good deeds in the name of the deceased. These actions are rooted in the belief that the living can send blessings to the departed soul, helping them during their journey in Barzakh. Whether these practices are cultural or spiritual, they provide comfort during grief and strengthen the bond between the living and the dead. The idea of Barzakh also serves as a powerful reminder for the living. It encourages us to reflect on our own lives, our choices, and the direction we are heading. Even though Barzakh is unseen, the teachings surrounding it push us to think beyond the material world. It urges us to live with purpose, kindness, and awareness of our actions, knowing that our journey does not end with death. Instead, it continues into a realm where only the truth of our deeds accompanies us. As we uncover the concept of the 40 days after death, it becomes clear that this topic is more than just belief or tradition. It is a window into how humans understand life, death, and what lies beyond. Whether one approaches it from a religious, cultural, or philosophical perspective, Barzakh stands as a mysterious yet profoundly meaningful stage of existence. It teaches us that death is not the end, but a transition into a deeper reality, one that every soul will eventually experience. Through this exploration, we gain a better understanding of why the concept of Barzakh continues to inspire curiosity, comfort, and reflection. It is a reminder of the unseen journey that awaits every human being, and the importance of preparing our souls with sincerity, goodness, and faith. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Barzakh, one of the most profound questions that arises is how the soul perceives time in this unseen realm. Many teachings suggest that time in Barzakh is not like the time we measure in this world. What feels like a moment to the soul may represent years on earth, and what feels long in Barzakh might pass in an instant for the living. This difference shows how the soul enters a dimension beyond the limits of physical reality, where time is shaped not by clocks or calendars, but by the inner state of the soul itself. This idea alone makes the 40-day period even more intriguing. As it symbolizes more than duration, it represents transition, awakening, and realization. People often wonder what the soul experiences emotionally during this stage. Some describe Barzakh as a place where the soul becomes highly aware of the life it lived, the people it loved, and even the mistakes it made. This heightened awareness is not meant to frighten, but to reveal truth. The soul begins to understand the depth of actions that once seemed small, the weight of words spoken, and the impact of kindness or harm. It is said that a comforting light surrounds the souls who lived with sincerity, while those who ignored goodness may face a sense of regret and longing for another chance. This emotional landscape gives the concept of Barzakh a deeply human and relatable dimension. Another fascinating detail often discussed is the connection between the soul and the prayers of the living. While the soul is in Barzakh, the acts of charity, supplication, and remembrance performed by loved ones can reach it like rays of relief. Many teachings mention that when someone recites verses or does a good deed in the name of the deceased, the soul is filled with comfort and peace. This idea strengthens the emotional bond between the living and the dead, showing that love does not end with physical separation. It also inspires families to continue sending blessings, knowing they are offering real spiritual support. Different communities have unique traditions during the 40 days, each shaped by culture yet rooted in the same desire to honor the departed. Some families light lamps, others prepare meals for the poor, while many gather for collective prayers. Although these customs vary, their purpose remains universal: to remember the soul with respect, love, and hope. These rituals create a sense of unity and healing, helping the grieving family cope with loss while reinforcing their belief in the soul's ongoing journey. They also serve as a reminder that death is not disappearance, it is transformation. As the soul settles deeper into Barzakh after the initial days, its reality becomes clearer. According to traditional teachings, the soul encounters visions that prepare it for the final resurrection. These visions reflect the life it lived, the choices it made, and the path it ultimately shaped. For some, Barzakh becomes a peaceful garden filled with serenity, while for others it becomes a place of reflection and accountability. This contrast emphasizes the powerful message that earthly life is the foundation of the soul's eternal experience. Every action builds the environment the soul will face after death. The concept of Barzakh also teaches us about humility. No matter how powerful, wealthy, or influential a person may seem in this world, all souls enter the same unseen realm after death. Status, appearance, and possessions disappear, leaving only character, belief, and actions. This universal equality offers a profound reminder that life's true value lies beyond material achievements. It encourages us to cultivate sincerity, compassion, and integrity, knowing that these qualities accompany the soul when everything else is left behind. Even though the mysteries of Barzakh cannot be fully understood by the living, the teachings surrounding it guide us toward a more meaningful way of life. They inspire us to repair relationships, to forgive, to seek goodness, and to reflect on our purpose. The idea of the 40 days becomes a reminder that every moment we live shapes the journey that awaits us. It urges us to prepare not out of fear, but out of awareness and responsibility. As we continue to explore these concepts, we realize that Barzakh is not only about the world after death, it's also a mirror that reflects how we live today. By understanding its teachings, we gain insight into our own hearts, our priorities, and the legacy we hope to leave behind. And in this understanding, we find both guidance and hope, knowing that the soul's journey is filled with mercy, meaning, and the promise of a reality beyond what we can see. As the soul progresses further into the realm of Barzakh, many teachings describe a growing clarity that surrounds it and an understanding of truths that were once hidden by the distractions of worldly life. It is said that the soul begins to perceive its past with remarkable detail, not through memory alone, but through a deep spiritual awareness. Every moment of kindness shines brightly, and every act of wrongdoing appears with its true weight. This heightened perception helps explain why Barzakh is often described as a stage of awakening, where the soul realizes the true value of the life it lived. One of the most profound aspects of this journey is the way the soul becomes aware of the prayers offered by loved ones. The spiritual connection between the living and the dead remains strong, even though they now exist in different realms. When a family donates food, offers charity, or recites prayers for the deceased, these acts are said to reach the soul like a gentle wave of peace. Some describe it as receiving a gift of light, something that eases the soul's state and brings comfort during its transition. This belief makes the grieving process meaningful, transforming sorrow into acts of goodness that continue benefiting the departed. As time continues within Barzakh, the soul's surroundings begin to reflect its inner state more clearly. Traditional teachings describe the dwelling of the soul as either expanding with peace or becoming confined, depending on the deeds performed in life. For those who lived with sincerity, honesty, and compassion, this realm becomes spacious and filled with tranquility. It is often described as a garden-like environment illuminated by mercy and hope. In contrast, for those who neglected their spiritual responsibilities or harmed others, Barzakh may feel tight and uncomfortable, a place where the soul confronts its own choices. These descriptions emphasize that Barzakh is not a punishment or reward, but a direct reflection of one's own actions. Another powerful element of the Barzakh journey is the anticipation of what lies ahead. The soul understands that Barzakh is temporary and intermediate world, yet it is a meaningful one. Some teachings mention that the soul occasionally looks toward the final resurrection, sensing the approach of a greater reality beyond the boundaries of this unseen realm. This anticipation is different for each soul. For the righteous, it brings hope and relief, like waiting for a long-awaited reunion. For others, it may bring reflection and a desire for the life they can no longer return to. This sense of anticipation adds depth to the Barzakh experience, reminding us of the ultimate journey every soul must take. Even the living draw lessons from these teachings. The idea that every word spoken, every intention, and every small act leaves an imprint on the soul encourages a more mindful way of life. It teaches that kindness, forgiveness, and sincerity are not just moral choices, they are investments in the soul's eternal journey. When we understand that Barzakh reflects who we truly are,